Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Kris. This is Five Campers Who Vanished Without a Trace. Before we get started, this is channel Untamed. Click that thumbs up. That works tremendously for me and him. Subscribe to the channel if this is the kind of content you like. You can donate to the channel through the thanks button. He does not have it. If you do, you can request a video. You get your name sponsoring that video. You can still request without the donation. You just don't get this extra shout out. Doing a lot of these videos leading up to Halloween. I kind of just enjoy the creepy things, anyways. So, all right, let's get into it.
Camping is a fun way to be outside and enjoy nature. But sometimes it's not all fun and games. Just like nature itself, it may be beautiful, but there are inherent dangers within. From unpredictable weather to wild animals and tricky terrain, campers can face many challenges. But what if these dangers are just the beginning? This collection of short stories explores the mysterious disappearances of people who encountered these risks while camping. They vanished without a trace, leaving families, loved ones, and investigators baffled and grasping in the dark. On June 14, 1969, the Martin family, made up of William, his wife, and their two boys, Dennis and his older brother, set out for a camping trip in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. They were looking to escape the city's hustle and find some peace in nature. They pitched their tents in Spence Field, surrounded by lush greenery, and their voices filled the tranquil surroundings with laughter and conversation. As the afternoon crept in, Dennis and his older brother found themselves engrossed in a game of hide-and-seek with two other boys from the camp. It all started innocently enough. Little did they know, this simple game was about to take a terrifying turn. Around 4:30 p.m., Dennis and his brother teamed up with the two other boys for some fun. William Martin watched as the kids huddled together, plotting a prank to surprise the adults. With a mischievous grin, they disappeared into the forest, Dennis's bright red shirt contrasting against the green backdrop. When the older boys reappeared, bursting into laughter, Dennis was conspicuously absent. Concern etched across his face, William began calling out for Dennis but received no response. Meanwhile, about 7 miles away, Harold Key and his family were taking a leisurely hike near Sea Branch, southwest of Cades Cove. Their peaceful outing took a chilling turn when a scream pierced the quiet forest. Startled, they scanned the surroundings, their hearts racing with unease as they glimpsed a shadowy figure darting among the trees. During that time, the Martin family and the other family that was with them started looking for Dennis. As the hours slipped by and darkness descended upon Spence Field, the search efforts intensified, drawing the attention of park rangers and concerned volunteers alike. With a heavy heart, William Martin reported his son's disappearance to park officials at Cades Cove around 8:30 p.m. His voice trembled with fear as he pleaded for assistance in finding his missing child. As the evening progressed, a thunderstorm swept through the mountains and pounded the campsite with rain and wind. Despite the worsening weather conditions, search operations continued tirelessly into the night, with the family and searchers frantically scanning the area for the missing boy. On June 15, 1969, as the first light of dawn broke, the group of searchers gathered at Boat Mountain Road to discuss the search plans for the day. Despite their exhaustion, they were ready to face another day of relentless searching. By 5 a.m., they had spread out across the rugged terrain as they combed every inch of the wilderness in hopes of finding any clue that could lead them to Dennis. As the hours passed, the search party grew to over 240 individuals. Among them were local Boy Scouts, park rangers in training, and concerned volunteers, all united in their mission to bring Dennis home. In the days that followed, hope began to fade as Dennis remained missing, leaving his fate uncertain and giving rise to speculation. False leads and fleeting sightings only added to the distress felt by his family and the community. It was during this time that various theories and speculations surrounding his disappearance began to surface. 3 main theories emerged regarding Dennis's disappearance. The first, considered most probable by park officials, suggested that Dennis became lost and was unable to survive in the wilderness.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, that's quite a creepy picture of that bear. I was going to say he got lost and then nighttime sets in, he just kind of gets cold and maybe doesn't have the proper, man, I'm popping them peas. He doesn't have the proper attire on, clothing. And the next would be, that's what I'm thinking, a bear. Because if a kid sees a bear, chances are he's not going to, do what he's supposed to do, which is, to face it or anything like that. He's just going to freak out and run. Bear, mountain lion. And once you run, not saying that he's going to, him squaring up with the bear is going to do anything. The bear's not going to look at him and think, oh, well, I should respect this kid. He might know karate.
The second theory proposed that Dennis may have been attacked by a bear, or less likely a wild pig, and carried off. The third theory, supported by Dennis's father, suggested that someone may have abducted him from the park. On the day Dennis went missing, tourist Harold Key and his family reported hearing a scream and seeing a rough-looking man running away. However, park rangers and the FBI were unable to find sufficient evidence to link this sighting with Dennis's disappearance. Amid speculations, the search for Dennis continued. On the 3rd of July, the search party encountered a troubling scent of decay along the West Prong, prompting concern among members. Despite thorough investigation, the source of the odor remained unidentified, adding to the complexities of the search. Despite extensive efforts and a $5,000 reward from the family for any information about Dennis, the search did not yield any new leads. Consequently, park officials decided to end the search for Dennis Martin on September 11th. In 1985, a potential breakthrough emerged when a ginseng hunter claimed to have discovered a child's skeletal remains 3 miles downhill from Dennis's last known location. Despite extensive search efforts, searchers were unable to locate the reported remains. The mystery surrounding Dennis Martin's disappearance remains unsolved, despite the significant effort invested in finding him. During the summer of 2015, the Kunz family set out on what appeared to be a simple camping excursion to Timber Creek Campground, tucked away in the remote wilderness of Idaho. However, what began as a seemingly routine adventure soon transformed into a complex web of mysteries, shrouded in uncertainty and suspicion. Tucked away in the wilderness near Leadore, Idaho, was Timber Creek Campground, offering a tranquil retreat from the chaos of modern life. It was here that the Kunz family set out on a camping excursion that would soon take an unexpected turn. Accompanying the journey were Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell. Along with their energetic 2-year-old Dior Kunz Jr. joining them were Jessica's grandfather, Bob Walton, a lively elder, and Isaac Reinwand, a mysterious figure whose presence brought an air of mystery to their expedition. On the evening of July 9, 2015, the Kunz family packed up their truck and headed out for their camping trip. They met up with Bob Walton and Isaac Reinwand along the way, driving through rough terrain as the sun went down. They stopped for diesel, tried to grab dinner in Leadore but couldn't, and ended up quickly grabbing snacks at a convenience store before finally reaching the campground in the dark. Dior assisted his parents in setting up the campsite and building a fire before the family retired for the night. The following morning, the group enjoyed leisure time at the campground. It was also during this time that Jessica asked the grandfather, Walton, to watch over the 2-year-old as she and Vernal walked around the campgrounds. This was the last time Dior was seen. At around 2 p.m., while Vernal and Jessica were out fishing with Isaac, the couple realized Dior was nowhere to be found. Panic ensued as the campers scoured the campground in a frantic search for their missing son. Vernal called 911 at 2:22 p.m., followed by Jessica at 2:26 p.m., and the sheriff's office received a call at 2:28 p.m. It wasn't until 3:45 p.m. that the search and rescue team arrived. An immediate search effort on the campgrounds in the wilderness was conducted by the family and the authorities, hoping to find clues to the whereabouts of the missing boy. For 2 weeks, teams scoured the area meticulously, utilizing various resources such as ATVs, helicopters, horses, K-9 units, and drones. Despite their exhaustive efforts, no sign of Dior or even clues were found. In a surprising turn of events, the Lemhi County Sheriff's Office announced in January 2016 that Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell were being named as suspects in the disappearance of their son. The revelation came amidst mounting inconsistencies in the accounts provided by the couple. According to private investigator Philip Klein, who had been enlisted by the family to aid in the investigation, both Vernal and Jessica underwent multiple polygraph tests, yielding troubling results. Vernal reportedly failed 5 polygraph tests while Jessica failed 4. These failures raised
Polygraph tests are not admissible in court, so I wouldn't even take one. Even if they were like, by not taking one, you look guilty. Cool. There's nothing serious about them. They're not real. I mean, they are real, but they're it doesn't mean anything. It's a computer guessing because your heart rate went up or went down. It's stupid.
significant doubts about the
If you're in a situation, don't take one either. No, don't do it. It's not smart. It's like doing a if you get pulled over, popping those peas. It's like if you get pulled over and the cop says, "Oh, I think you've been drinking. You want to get out and do a field sobriety test?" No, you don't have to. Don't do it. It's stupid. You doing it, he's going to find something. Oh, you didn't walk that straight imaginary line that I have in my head, so you're obviously drunk. No, it's stupid.
veracity of their statements regarding the events leading up to Duer's disappearance. Several theories surfaced regarding the fate of the missing child. Klein voiced his suspicion that Duer might have been the victim of foul play, whether by accident or design. Klein even alleged that Jessica held vital information regarding Duer's whereabouts, but opted to keep it concealed, thereby making it nearly impossible to solve the case. Raising further suspicion, when the couple faced eviction for unpaid rent in 2016, some of their abandoned belongings appeared to be linked to their missing child, including Duer's camouflage jacket, which he had allegedly worn when he disappeared. Despite these concerning details, the mystery surrounding Duer Kunz Jr.'s disappearance remains unsolved. No arrests or charges have been made in connection with the case. Vernal Kunz and Jessica Mitchell separated in 2016, with Mitchell remarrying thereafter. Both individuals continue to assert their innocence, denying any involvement in Duer's disappearance and claiming ignorance regarding his whereabouts.
If they are truly innocent, I feel bad for them because all the attention is on them, and whenever that happens, people are really genuinely pretty kind to those people when it comes on them. So when the suspicion falls to those people, you just, unless there's hard evidence, it's just somebody saying, "I wonder if," no. And then if it was somebody else, if it was them, that's fine. But if it was somebody else, that person's getting away while everyone else is trying to get the attention onto those people. And the further you get away from the crime, the less likelihood it's going to get solved.
On Labor Day weekend of 1975, the Newton family from Manchester, Maine, was vacationing at the Natanis Point campground in the deep woods of the Chain of Ponds Township, closer to the Canadian border. It was a routine camp, and nobody expected it to be the prelude to one of the largest search and rescue operations the state of Maine would ever see. In the morning of September 1st, 1975, Ron Newton set out to get firewood. He hopped into his pickup truck and headed north on one of several dirt roads that forked around the campsites. Kurt, hating to see his father leave even for a moment, grabbed his tricycle and headed up the dirt road after him. Soon he lost sight of the truck, but he kept pedaling. A young woman from an adjacent campsite, 13-year-old Lou Ellen Hansen, saw the little boy furiously paddling up the road and called after him. Jack Hansen, the campground caretaker and father to Lou Ellen, who had been the last to see Kurt Newton alive, drove along the same dirt road not long after Kurt had taken off. He saw the abandoned tricycle close to the dump, an area of discarded trash piled at the end of the road. Assuming it must have been discarded, he tossed it onto the trash heap. Meanwhile, back at their campsite, Jill Newton had lost sight of her little boy while she was washing mud off the kid's sneakers. She asked a few of the neighboring campers if they'd seen Kurt on his bike, and as she was chatting with them, Ron came back. Kurt wasn't with him, he never had been. When the couple ran into Jack Hansen and asked if he'd seen their little boy and his red tricycle, the groundskeeper's reaction must have given them a horrible feeling. Jack had seen the tricycle, yes, but no sign of the boy. He took them to the trash heap, and there was the discarded tricycle. Kurt was nowhere to be seen. The search for Kurt began with initial efforts from the Newton family and other campers, leading to the largest organized search in Maine's history. The local game warden utilized a helicopter equipped with a loudspeaker in hopes of locating Kurt in the woods. During the search, Jill, overhearing volunteers discuss specialized planes used in Vietnam, requested similar aircraft for the search. These planes, capable of detecting heat differentials from great heights, were deemed essential. The state swiftly arranged for a plane to be dispatched from Florida, enhancing search efforts. Over several days, the helicopter continued circling above as Jill Newton and a few friends ventured into the woods. Near Kurt's last known location, they discovered a large hole resembling a child-friendly hiding spot. Jill began digging, with others joining in, but there was no sign of Kurt. On Friday, September 12th, the search ended. Over 3,000 volunteers had scoured the woods to look for Kurt in more than 10 days since he had ridden off on his tricycle. Though the efforts were exhaustive, the greatest the state had ever seen, they turned up nothing. People started speculating about what might have happened. The police thought Kurt might have gotten lost while trying to find his way back to the campsite and ended up going in the wrong direction. With temperatures dropping below freezing at night, there were worries about whether Kurt could survive without proper shelter. On the other hand, Kurt's parents thought he might have been kidnapped and taken across the Canadian border into Quebec. To explore this possibility, they put up missing child posters in Quebec, especially in French, hoping to reach anyone who might have seen him. But despite their efforts, they didn't find any solid leads or answers. The disappearance of Kurt Newton, the blonde-haired boy who vanished in the woods, remains one of Maine's most troubling unsolved mysteries. On August 20th, 2004, a seemingly ordinary family camping trip turned into a chilling mystery.
The last one, 49 years ago. But no body. But there's a lot of woods out there. I mean, 49 years. You got to assume that he died.
Mystery that continues to baffle investigators to this day. Garrett Bardsley, a 12-year-old boy from Utah, was fishing with his father at Cuburn Lake when he decided to return to their camp for a change of clothes. Despite the camp being only 250 feet away from the lake, Garrett never made it back and has never been seen since. Garrett and his father were part of a larger group, consisting of 18 other scouts and 6 or 7 adults. Garrett had managed to get his shoes, pants, and socks soaked while fishing, and he felt uncomfortable in the wet clothes. He told his father he wouldn't be long and would soon be back at the lake to try and land a fish for breakfast. The rest of their Boy Scout group were camped up the hill at the Cuber and Hash 4 campsite, a mere 150-250 feet away. They had walked the trail several times before, so Garrett's father, Kevin, let his son head back to camp while he continued fishing. Curiously, after 20 minutes, there was no sign of Garrett ever coming back to the lake. This made Kevin grow concerned about what was taking his son so long to return. He returned to the camp to see what had happened, only to find that Garrett was nowhere to be found in the cabin. None of the other Boy Scouts had seen him at the camp either. Panicked and confused, Kevin sounded the alarm and alerted the other individuals who were in the campsite as well as the authorities. This triggered a massive search operation involving hundreds of official and unofficial searchers. The searchers searched the area on foot, horseback, and with the aid of specially trained hounds to find any trace of Garrett. The search continued into the night on Sunday, August 21st, with the hope of finding the missing boy alive and well. However, as the days passed, those hopes faded, and the search became somber. Despite the exhaustive search, the only evidence that the searchers found was one of Garrett's Nike socks. It was discovered about half a mile from where he disappeared in a rugged granite boulder field. According to Summit County Sheriff Dave Edmonds, the sock appeared to have been taken off a wet foot and wadded up, consistent with what they knew about Garrett. After 9 days, Garrett's official search was terminated. However, the family, many devoted friends, and volunteers continued the search after the official search was done, going back at least twice a week until October. After the 2004 winter, more searches were conducted but produced no results. The case has been featured in various media outlets due to its curious and intriguing nature. Up to this day, Garrett's story continues to raise awareness about missing children and the importance of keeping them safe. We may never know what happened to Garrett, but his disappearance instigated dozens of conspiracy theories. Some speculate that he was attacked by a wild animal, possibly a mountain lion or a bear. Others believe that a stranger or a family acquaintance may have abducted Garrett. Some even suggest that he may have fallen or been injured in an accident while exploring the area and could not get help. However, no evidence exists to support any of these theories. The mysterious disappearance of Garrett Bardsley remains an unsolved case that continues to baffle investigators. As the years pass, the mystery deepens, leaving more questions than answers. Chelsea Grimm, a 32-year-old woman from San Diego, California, has been missing since September 28, 2023. She was last seen in Williams, Arizona, during a cross-country road trip. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance remain unclear, and her case is currently classified as missing. Grimm set off on her journey on September 24, 2023, intending to attend a wedding in Connecticut. Accompanying her was her pet bearded dragon, Roz or Roxy. Originally, she planned to fly to the wedding, but the airline's refusal to accommodate her pet led her to decide to drive instead. On September 27th, Grimm arrived in Phoenix, Arizona, where she met her sister and a friend. The following day, she canceled plans for lunch with the same friend. Later that day, she was seen at a motel in Seligman, attempting to book a room. Witnesses described her as disoriented when she tried to pay with euros instead of U.S. currency. Grimm contacted her parents from the motel, informing them that she would not make it to the wedding in Connecticut due to the trip taking longer than expected. She expressed her plan to camp nearby for a few days before returning to California. On September 28th, a police officer found Grimm's vehicle parked near a war memorial in Williams County, Arizona. She explained to the officer that she had become emotional after taking photographs for a lost soldier project and did not want to drive while upset. The officer suggested some safe places for her to camp, including the Love's truck stop near a gas station. On September 30th, a woodcutter spotted Grimm near Ashfork, Arizona, where she was camping in her car. She did not appear to be in distress or in need of help. Since then, there has been no contact from Grimm. On October 3rd, hunters found Grimm's white 2019 Ford Escape SUV, abandoned in the middle of Forest Service Road 6 in Kaibab National Forest, northeast of Ashfork, Arizona. The vehicle had 2 flat tires. The following day, Grimm's parents filed a missing persons report with the Phoenix Police Department when they were unable to reach her. Grimm's wallet, cell phone, sleeping bag, and bearded dragon were missing, but some clothing and a camera were left behind in her car. The car was locked and showed no signs of a struggle. There has been no activity on Grimm's phone records, bank account, or social media since her disappearance. The police found no evidence of foul play in Grimm's disappearance. The case seems to be leading to a dead end with no new leads. Despite the lack of evidence of struggle, many have shared their thoughts and theories about Chelsea's mysterious disappearance. Some believe that Chelsea Grimm was in some kind of mental health crisis due to her distressed and confused state. Because
I'm curious as to what was causing her to want to pay with euros and just to be kind of out of it. Was it a medical related issue that was it drugs? I don't know, probably somebody breaking into the house. It's fine. Yeah, it's that part doesn't make sense.
as a photographer, she would not have left her camera in the car when she left. Others believe that she had met with someone and that there was a possibility of her being abducted, probably the reason of the euro bills.
That close to the border, you can't discount being kidnapped and put into sex trafficking.
Instead of the dollar bills when she tried to pay. While others believe that the case is simply just like many others, she had her tires deflated, and outlaws used this as an opportunity to mug her or kidnap her. In response to these theories, the Grimm family took matters into their hand when they hired a private detective to assist the police in the search. But so far, these efforts have been unsuccessful. The mystery of Chelsea Grimm's disappearance continues to baffle everyone involved. As the investigation continues, her family and friends hold on to hope for her safe return.
She's been gone missing for about a year, over a year. That's sad. Medical issue is what, or drugs, and kidnapped, sex trafficking. Those are the only three options I can really think of, and none of them are pleasant. You know, oh, she won the lottery and decided to move to Paris. No one ever thinks about that, because likelihood is that's not true either. Okay, well, if you have any information, contact the places, or figure it out. I don't know. Well, until next time, have a good day, have a good night.